Friday Night Blitz is sponsored by Fairway Meat and Grocery.
This is the Norwalk student section, and you're watching Friday Night Blitz!
Well, welcome into Friday Night Blitz. I'm Raina Garcia, joined by Jake Brandon. We're already nearing the halfway point of the regular season, and district play is about to start, so the stakes are only getting higher from here.
Especially in Class 4A, because year in and year out, feels like we say this every single show.
Yep.
We have no idea what's going to happen in this class. Tonight's game of the week, it's two programs that are typically in the mix at the end of the season, and they're facing off in a pivotal game ahead of district play.
It's a new era for ADM football. Two of the best players in school history, Brevin Dahl and Aiden Flora, are now at Iowa and Iowa State. Head coach Doug Winkowich comes over after 2 decades at West Delaware and still has the Tigers ranked in the top 5.
We've had to spread things around. You know, it's kind of more or less what I've been used to. You know, a bunch of good kids that are tough, and you got to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers.
Meanwhile, the Warriors entered the season ranked but are off to just a 1-2 start. A win over ADM could bring lots of momentum to Norwalk.
We keep talking about all the things that they need to continue to work on and do, and it's a whole heck of a lot better when you see results on the other end if you're a high school kid than if you are not seeing those results.
I think we got a lot to build off of, and I think a couple losses is really it's turn our mindset, and like we got to prove something. We can't just come out thinking we're just going to dominate. We got to actually do it.
Last year, Norwalk entered this very game ranked number 1 in 4A, and ADM won 47-14. If that game proved anything, it's that it can go either way.
I kind of flushed that game, but I think I just remember it not going very well for us, and heads were down. But I think it's not going to be the same thing this year, and I think we're going to come in for much better game.
I think we're the better team straight up, and so yeah, if we can just beat them in the trenches, I think that's where we got them last year for sure, and just get after them, I think they will have a good chance of beating them.
Game of the week, sponsored by Fairway Meat and Grocery.
Norwalk, they're looking to end a 2-game skid. ADM, they're ranked 5th in 4A. First quarter, Hudson Scholl keeps it himself on 3rd and goal. ADM strikes first, capitalizing on good field position. Norwalk's first trip to the red zone is a success. Dominic Tigner up the middle. Warriors tie it at 7. More from the running back in a bit. Norwalk threatening again. James Hatlevig pumps and finds his guy, Eli Robbins, who comes down with it, foot down and all. What a catch by the junior. It's 14-7 Norwalk. And then second quarter, winding down 4th and 1. Tigner hits the hole, finds the pylon. Norwalk takes a 21-7 halftime lead, led by as much as 18, but ADM sends it to overtime at the buzzer and wins 35-34.
What a game there, but now to some CIML action. Dowling Catholic taking on Waukee Northwest. After exchanging 3 and outs to start the game, the Wolves started to find their rhythm on offense. Mac Heitland airs it out. Jordan Green goes up and gets it and sets the Wolves up just outside Dowling's 20-yard line. Now, Northwest able to cap off this drive with a touchdown. It's Caleb James who would not be denied. He muscles his way across the goal line. It's 7-0 Wolves. But the Maroons would have an answer for that, and his name is Rashad Davis. He takes the handoff, finds some space, and gets out to the sideline and puts the Maroons in striking distance just outside the 10-yard line. And they continue to feed him the ball. It pays off. Davis makes a great cut and gets in for the touchdown. Dowling ties the game at 7. And the Maroons trailed at halftime, but managed to come back in the second half to beat Waukee Northwest 21-14.
Staying in the CIML, Ankeny on the road taking on Johnston. Early first quarter, the Hawks strike first. Daniel Larmy tumbles in. It is 7-0 Ankeny, looking to add to their lead. But Luke Anderson is picked off by Johnston Jacob Hegelson. More from him in a bit because he gets his second INT of the day. The Johnston defense steps up, and then the offense does its part in the second half. The Dragons take down Ankeny 24-7.
Well, we had a top 5 matchup in Class 5A tonight between Waukee and Valley. And we'll send it out now to Dave Bingham to take us through the highlights.
Week 4, this time it gets meaningful for the playoffs. Some people talk rankings, but all of these teams that we're covering the CIML that are playing each other have a chance to get to the championship game.
Coach Swenson gets his 400th win last week. He's the 4th to do it, along with Dick Tye, Jerry Pizzetti, and Kurt Blatt. His team gets the ball rolling on offense, running the ball, but then Drake DeGroot goes to the air, finds Jahari Clark for the touchdown. 7-zip Tigers. Now Waukee's defense and special teams earns a safety, and then they get the ball back. Beckett Baker with a nice little pass here to Grant Gamble. It leads to a field goal. The score is 7-5, like we're in a baseball game. It's postseason time. But then Valley gets some help from King Coleman. Busts it down the right side. Young man goes 50 yards. He'll finish the drive. It's the King again, baby. 14-5, the Tigers on top. Ensuing kickoff. If you ever get a bobble, this is what happens. Jay White, it's a little timing, gets a hole. Good move here, and then he hits the Jets. Got to speed it up. We're running out of time. Takes it to the house. 14-11. PAT no good. But Zay Robinson doing Zay Robinson things. This kid is special. Stop, pop, look at that move. And then he will hit the Nas button. They're not going to get him. Developing situation, back-to-back kick returns for touchdown, 21-14 Valley. Beckett Baker has the answer, go long. And he finds Maverick Enman in the red zone, down to the 6. And then Baker finds the big guy, 6'6" junior tight end, Evan Jacobson. Waukee cuts into the lead, 21-17.
Both teams score to start the second half, but Valley kind of runs away with this one and dominates it, 42-25. And that will do it from Valley Stadium. What a beautiful night. Brad Edwards just dialed in. For all our extra highlights, you're going to have to go to the socials on Dome Dynasty. Can't tell you that enough. There's some good stuff there. Let's go. Let's get those numbers up. Send it back to you guys in the studio.
Let's take a look at our first play of the week nominees. Just saw it. Valley's Zay Robinson started at his own 2-yard line. Makes people miss. It's unfortunate you couldn't see those beautiful jukes because they were something to behold. Takes it 98 yards for the touchdown, and that's a pretty strong contender. But we've got plenty more to get to here on Friday Night Blitz. And after the break, we'll take a trip out to Madrid for this week's Inside the Huddle with the Tigers.
Inside the Huddle, sponsored by Des Moines Orthopedic Surgeons.
Well, welcome back to Friday Night Blitz. After a tough loss to Woodward Granger in Week 1, the Madrid Tigers were able to rebound, winning back-to-back games, and they're looking to keep that momentum going.
Let's go, hustle up, fly around, let's go.
This year our motto is kind of tough teams win.
Linebackers and DBs down here, sound good? Yes, here we go. Tiger pride on 3, 1, 2, 3. Here we go, on the move, let's go, hustle around.
Coming off a good year last year, we got a lot of new faces and some new spots. So these guys are just getting better each and every week, getting familiar with each other and not only themselves, but our coaches and the scheme that we're running.
We focus right on Monday and we game plan the whole week, and it really helps once we get to Friday and we know what we're doing.
There you go!
We learned we got to play more disciplined, we got to play all around better, and I think we've started to do that.
A lot better. Hey, let's go get one this week.
It's a really fun group to coach. These guys just come to work every day and they just want to get better. So it makes our life easy.
We're a close team. We like to bring the energy, and we have a lot of fun on the football field on Friday night.
Well, let's head out to Madrid. The Tigers hosting Linville Sully tonight. Landon Montgomery on the move here. He finds Michael Spooner for the 25-yard pickup inside the red zone, but Hawks would come up empty-handed on that drive, though. And you heard Coach Hinkle say earlier, tough teams win, and the Madrid defense was tough tonight. They force a fumble, and it's recovered by Logan Velke, but we remain scoreless at the end of the first. But let's head to the second. Montgomery scrambling on 4th and goal, but his pass is just short of the goal line, and they turn it over on downs. Madrid defense coming up big once again, and somebody called DJ Khaled because we got another one. It's Easton Halverson's time to shine, getting the interception on the deep ball. He takes it the other way, and Madrid gets the offense going in the second half, courtesy of 3 Preston Wicker rushing touchdowns, and they shut out Linville Sully 21-0.
Southeast Polk on the road taking on undefeated Ankeny Centennial. First quarterback, Centennial's QB Chase Kluver on the rollout, finding Sam Heather. He brings it in amongst 2 defenders. The students love it. Still in the first quarter, Rams on the attack. But a miscue by Southeast Polk, tip drill. The Jags D comes up with it. Onto the second quarter, it's the senior, Caden Hills, who takes the handoff. Faked out our cameraman. Huge play, knotting this at 7 apiece. And Southeast Polk, fresh off of losing 2 games in a row for the first time since 2018, knocks off number 1 Centennial 21-13.
Coach of the Week, sponsored by Wyckoff Heating and Cooling.
Valley came out on top in tonight's top 5 matchup against Waukee. We'll send it back out to Dave Bingham, who's standing by with our Coach of the Week.
Okay, back with our Wyckoff Heating and Cooling Coach of the Week, Gary Swenson. And, before the game, you were like, hey, what are you doing, following Waukee? And I'm like, no, I'm with my man Gary Swenson here. But good football team. Gabe's got a good one. Once we went to this 5A, though, it just seems like the scheduling's so different because it's almost like a state championship game. How do you prepare, since you've been doing this for so long, for these kind of battles?
You just, you give the kids a day off, and then on Sunday afternoon, they're back in at 1 o'clock with us, and you basically start all over because they're all good teams. If you don't have a solid week of prep, you're not going to beat teams like this. So we had a good week of practice, and we're relatively healthy. A year ago at this time, we were not, so that's a positive thing.
Offensively, I felt like you might have been calling the plays tonight. I know you weren't, but there's some 26 slice, and your running game really, it had some momentum, but then you've got the skill kids to go along with that when you throw it. So that's pretty good offensively for your
the danger when you have the kind of personnel we have is that you feel like, well, the run game's working, but we got all these guys, so we better throw it. I mean, I believe if they can't stop something, you never go away from it, and you're going to get a steady diet of it. Kevin did a great job of mixing up the inside runs with some counter and with gap and zone plays, and I thought we dominated the line of scrimmage when we had the ball.
We've talked a lot about you know, you get into the 400 wins, having some fun with it, but you love the sport, you love Iowa high school football. And I think when you think of Dick Ty and Jerry Pizzetti and Kurt Blatt, those great names that you're with, that doesn't mean as much to you as just being a great human and what you've done with, like, even Gabe Baker. What a great guy, worked for you for years, and it's so interesting that you're able to have these fierce competitions and still keep it cordial.
Well, both him, Adam McElderry, his offensive line coach, played for us, coached for us. They're two really good football coaches, and when they took that program, we knew what was going to happen. I mean, it didn't take them long, and they'll be very, you know, Gabe will be a very successful high school coach for a long, long time. So when we get a win over guys like that, we're thrilled.
Appreciate your time.
You bet.
That's going to do it. Back to you guys in the studio.
Play of the week candidate number 2, James Hatlevig pump fakes and finds Eli Robbins, and he makes an impressive grab down with it. We're going to see the winner coming up in just a bit, but for now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hand out our game ball for week 4, so keep it right here on Friday Night Blitz.
This is the DCG Cheerleaders, and you are watching Friday Night Blitz.
Our third play of the week nominee comes from Madrid. The Tiger defense with a huge hit in the strip. They stepped up today. They pitched a shutout, and that's just one of many turnovers they forced in this game. A Warren County battle between Carlisle and Indianola. First quarter, Asher Brick connects with Parker Kaufman on the slant. 16-yard score, Indianola leads 7-0. Now Carlisle did upset Indianola on homecoming last season. Second quarter, Brick dumps it off to Jake Pontier. Man, he's a good running back. Looks like he gets in. He actually stepped out at the 1, but Coach Kluver gives it right back to him. Pontier makes it 14-0. Indianola moves to 3-1 with a win over Carlisle.
We had Dallas Center Grimes playing host to Ballard this evening, and the Bombers get on the board first with a field goal by Sam Hoffman. Things off to a good start in the first. DCG back to punt now. It goes over Connor Stolpe's head, He's just going to chase after it, tries to get the punt off, but he gets hit by Jackson Wacha, and Caden Anderson finishes it off and falls on top of it in the end zone. Ballard now up to nothing. The Mustangs trying to find a spark on offense, and Tate Perrin tries to find a man, can't find him, takes it himself 23 yards all the way to the 1-yard line. The Mustangs are back in business. They're able to punch it in for the touchdown to pull within 3, but Ballard runs away with this one, rolling past DCG 31-14.
Game Ball, sponsored by Fairway Meat and Grocery.
Well, it's time now to give away our game ball for week 4, and it's got to go to the Madrid defense. I mean, they had that big goal line stand to keep Linville Sully off the board, a fumble recovery and an interception, all in that first half alone, and then the offense came through in the second half on their end of the bargain.
And they needed it because, like you said, it was 0-0 at halftime, and Madrid did all they could to keep themselves in this game. I think it's our first game ball to go to the defense this year, and wow, it was deserved. They pitch a shutout in a win.
Yeah,
it doesn't get better than that.
We got to give the defenses some love sometimes. So there you go. Well, still to come here on Friday Night Blitz. You know the drill, 3 awesome plays, but only one winner. Find out who had the play of the week for week 4.
This is the ADM student section, and you're watching Friday Night Blitz!
Play of the week, sponsored by Taco John's.
Well, as usual, we had 3 awesome Play of the Week nominees, but this week's winner is Zay Robinson.
Zay is just a highlight machine. You see him go up the sidelines here, untouched, makes one man miss, makes another fall out of frame, and then he's off to the races. 98 yards, and Zay really came onto the scene 2 years ago in the state championship game, but got hurt preseason last year, didn't play. So his really debut on Friday Night Blitz this year has been a sight to behold. And if we had a Friday night, I don't know, dunk during basketball season, he would be on there every week too. He is quite the athlete.
He really is, and definitely a good season so far for him. But we are wrapping things up here on Friday Night Blitz, and when we get back, we'll put a bow on things and give our final thoughts on week 4. All right, we got a little bit of time left before we get out of here. Week 4 was crazy, especially in 5A.
The CIML has no more undefeated teams, and it's only week 4. Southeast Polk, they lost 2 games in a row for the first time since 2018, and they come back and beat #1 undefeated Centennial. This conference in Central Iowa is crazy.
Yeah, and it's really fun to watch. I mean, Johnston getting a good win tonight. I mean, it's just so unpredictable, but that's what makes it fun.
Shout out to Jacob Helgelson, great wrestler. He was a great linebacker tonight, 2 interceptions, and they put away Ankeny, who, again, is another really good team that we just saw beat Dowling.
Yeah, last week.
You could do the transitive property, and I don't think any team would stand out because it feels like every team's beating each other. Our game of the week, ADM. Come back, they were down 18 to Norwalk in the second half, came back and won in overtime. Norwalk went for 2 in overtime and didn't get it, so huge win for ADM to stay 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, that's just such a, shows the mentality they have to keep on going, to come back and win when down by so much. I mean, that's going to take them far in, this season into the postseason.
Yeah, they've really, really filled the holes of Aiden Flora and Brevin Dahl,
which is hard to do. Team. Definitely. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Friday Night Blitz. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Friday Night Blitz is sponsored by Fairway Meat and Grocery.